Have you ever thought about doing something great, but always found reasons to postpone it? It's not the right time, I'll wait until I'm ready, maybe one day, or excuses you tell yourself. But here's a truth that few people realize. We only have one life, and time waits for no one. Every moment you delay, every second you hesitate is a step back. You can't get back the time you've lost. But you can choose to use the remaining moments to make a change. If you don't start right now, you'll have to wait another 30 years to realize you missed the opportunity to change your life. I've heard many people complain, if I had done this earlier, things might have turned out differently. This story is not unfamiliar. It's the story of many people, including myself. When I was in my 20s, I had bold ideas, big plans. However, I didn't act fast enough because I always believed I could wait for a better time, or simply that I was too young to start something big. By the time I realized that time doesn't wait for me, I had wasted decades, looking back and asking myself what more I could have done if I had started earlier. You've probably heard the saying, there is no perfect time to start. That's the truth. Everyone can come up with countless reasons not to do anything. I'm not experienced enough, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough resources. But the real question is, if you wait for everything to be perfect, will you ever start? Life doesn't wait for perfection. It's not about having everything you want. It's about having the determination to do something right now at this very moment. The truth is, none of us knows what the future holds. We can't predict when opportunities will come, nor can we guarantee that we'll get that chance again. But one thing is certain, time never comes back. The days you lose due to hesitation, laziness, or trivial excuses will never be regained. You can only seize the present moment and create the future through your actions. I want you to imagine something. If you only had 30 more years to live, what would you do with the time left? There will be no other opportunity if you keep postponing. There is no time more precious than now. All you need to change your life is one wise decision at this very moment. Don't wait until you're older. Don't wait until an event in life makes you realize that time is something you can't buy. Don't wait until it's too late. Procrastination is your biggest enemy. Every time you wait for another day, month, or year, you lose an opportunity you could have taken. The small decisions you make today can be turning points in the future, but you must act now. This doesn't mean you need to rush, but you must start. Taking the right action, even if small, is far better than endless delay. You may think you're too young to do something great, but precisely because you're young, because you are in the present, you have the ability to make a difference. The most successful people in history are those who never waited. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. They all started with simple things and then they changed the world. What they accomplished wasn't because of something extraordinary they had, but because they dared to step out of their comfort zone and act from day one. Think about this. If you don't start today, you'll have to wait another 30 years to realize what you've missed. You can't recover lost time, but you can decide to change from today. There will certainly be challenges along the way, but don't let those difficulties be the reason you give up. In fact, those challenges will help you grow and develop. There is no path to success that is without obstacles, but every step along that path brings you closer to your dream. So what will you do with this precious time? Will you keep delaying, waiting for everything to be perfect, or will you start right now, even without everything you need? The choice is yours. But don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait another 30 years to realize that opportunities come only once. You can start changing now, and that is the most important thing. Failure is not the end, but a stepping stone toward success. This is something few people understand, and many even fear when facing it. But the truth is, if you don't know failure, you will never understand the value of success. I want you to think about something important. Failure is not the end. It's an opportunity to restart, to learn, and to begin again. Each of us has moments of failure in our lives. No one lives without facing failure, and no one achieves success without paying the price of stumbling along the way. Successful people, the ones who can change the world, are not the ones who never failed, but those who never gave up after failure. Failure is the teacher that teaches you valuable lessons, helping you understand more about yourself and what you truly want to achieve. You've surely heard the saying, failure is the mother of success, but few truly understand its deep meaning. When you fail, You don't just realize your shortcomings, but also learn how to face difficulties, overcome fear, and continue moving forward. You will learn how to adjust your strategies, test new methods, and learn from your mistakes. These lessons help you become stronger and more resilient. I've encountered severe failures throughout my career. When I founded a company and my first product failed, I felt like I had lost everything. But it was during those moments when I thought I was about to collapse that I realized nothing is more valuable than the lessons learned from failure. Failure forced me to rethink my goals, my strategies, and what I truly wanted to achieve. If I hadn't failed, I would never have had the chance to adjust and do better. Those failures led me to the path of success. Never think that failure is something bad. Failure doesn't mean you fail forever. It's just a part of your long journey. When you fail, you are on the right track, heading toward growth, understanding, and eventually success. Only when you dare to try, dare to accept failure, and dare to rise from it, can you move forward. Many people are so afraid of failure that they don't dare to try new things. They live in safety and conservatism. But the truth is, you will never know what you can achieve until you dare to try, dare to fail. Those who never dare to try, never dare to face the fear of failure will forever remain stagnant. They will watch others move forward and wonder why they cannot do the same. The answer is simple: because they don't dare to fail. To succeed, you need to understand that failure is an essential part of the growth process. When you accept failure, you not only learn how to overcome difficulties, but also how to adapt to change, face challenges, and build a new strategy when the old one doesn't work. Failure helps you recognize your strengths while pointing out the weaknesses that you need to improve. These are signs you cannot ignore if you want to succeed. In fact, every failure brings a new opportunity for you to start over. It's not the end, but a new beginning. The valuable lessons you draw from your mistakes will make you more creative, persistent, and better prepared for the challenges ahead. If you don't dare to fail, you will never know what you're capable of. And if you don't try, you will never know your true potential. Remember that successful people are not those who never failed, but those who learned from their failures and got back up after each fall. These people understand that failure is part of the journey toward their dreams. Success comes from daring to try and daring to fail. If you don't try, you will never have the opportunity to succeed. And if you don't fail, you will never know how far you can go. So, don't be afraid of failure. Turn it into your companion on your journey. Don't see it as something to fear, but as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to move closer to success. When you face failure and don't give up, you will realize that every failure is actually a significant step forward. Have you ever felt that your life is at a halfway point, where you've lived through a significant part of your time and now wonder if it's still possible to change? Are the dreams you once set still achievable, or is it too late to start over? Perhaps this is a question many of us face, especially as we grow older and the things we hoped for have not yet been realized. But I want to ask you one thing. If it's never too late, what would you do right now? Are you ready to change? Many people believe that once they reach a certain age, after doing too many things, after having a family, children, or even after making too many mistakes, their dreams will no longer be attainable. They think it's too late to change, that I'm too old to start over. But the truth is, it's never too late to change. What you are experiencing right now is the starting point, not the end. Believe in that. Think about the people who have done the greatest things in history, from founders to scientists to leaders. They all started from somewhere, and many of them didn't start at a young age. I'm sure you've heard of Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. He started his business career at the age of 65, when society said he was too old to start a business. But he never let age stop him. He didn't think it was too late, and from that late start, he created an empire. Did you know that Vera Wang, the world-famous designer, only began her fashion design career when she was 40? Or that Ray Kroc, the man who turned McDonald's into a global empire, started his career in his 50s? Stories like these are not coincidences, but proof of a simple truth. It's never too late to start, to change, to pursue your dreams and passions. In fact, age is not a barrier, it's an advantage. As you get older, you gain experience, maturity, and wisdom that younger people don't have. You understand what has happened in the past. You recognize the importance of making the right decisions, and you have the ability to see further into the future. The failures you've had, the lessons from the past, are powerful tools that help you move forward. Nothing from your past is useless. It can all help you build your future. So the question is, why are you hesitating? Are you afraid you won't be able to do it? Do you think you've missed too many opportunities? Or don't have the energy to start again? If you think it's too late to change, I want you to reconsider, because the moment you decide to change is when you start taking control of your life. No one can tell you it's too late except yourself. And if you don't change, you'll forever live with the what-ifs. Think about the things you've always wanted to do, the dreams you've always put off for someday. Today is the day to start. If you think you don't have enough strength to change, I want you to reflect on everything you've done throughout your life. How many challenges have you overcome? How many difficulties have you faced? And how many times have you gotten back up after falling? You are stronger than you think. I want you to stop and think for a moment. Is there something you haven't done in your life? A dream, a plan, a change that you've always delayed? Think about that and make a decision right now. You still have time to change and start over, as long as you are ready to take action. And now, I want you to tell me, are you ready to change? Are you ready to leave behind your doubts and step out of your comfort zone to do the things you've always wanted to do? Leave a sign below in the comments, I'm ready to change, or simply a 1 to let me know you're here and ready to change. That means the world to me, and I'm truly grateful for it. Certainly, each time you dare to show your readiness to change, you won't just change your life, but you'll inspire those around you. You'll never know how much impact you can create until you truly decide and start acting right now. Let today be the day you change, because it's never too late. In life, we often get caught up in a whirlwind of routines, responsibilities, and sometimes these things are what hold us back from moving forward. We chase after goals, strive tirelessly, but forget that there are things subtly pulling us back, preventing us from achieving what we desire. When you stop and truly think, you'll realize what's holding you back. You've probably heard the saying, life is a race, and indeed, life often feels like a marathon where you must keep running. But throughout that long journey, have you ever stopped to check if something is slowing you down, preventing you from moving further? It could be fear, a lack of self-confidence, or simply a bad habit you've maintained for so long without realizing it's hindering your personal growth. Most of us have our own reasons for not taking action, for not changing. Sometimes it's the fear of failure or concern about what others think of us. These fears are very real and they can make you feel powerless, but I want you to think carefully. Are you letting those fears control your life? Are you living according to others' expectations instead of listening to yourself, to your own dreams and desires? You've probably looked at those around you and wondered why they can be successful achieving everything they want while you're still struggling to find the answers for yourself. But what really happened between you and them? Could it be that negative thoughts and fear have kept you from seeing opportunities? Or perhaps your old habits and safe ways of living have made you too afraid to step outside your comfort zone and try new things? This doesn't mean you lack courage. No, you've done many things in life and overcome countless challenges. But sometimes we fail to realize that our comfort zone is what's holding us back. You may have become too accustomed to your daily routine, but those habits create an invisible wall that you can't get past. You keep doing the same things, meeting the same people, working within the same established frameworks, and you don't dare to change. But in life, change never comes from doing what you've always done. Change happens when you step outside your comfort zone, dare to try new things, and face challenges you once thought you couldn't overcome. The truth is, the things that seem safe and familiar are actually locking away your potential. It's the fear and reluctance to change that's creating a dead end in your life. If you don't dare to try new things, you'll forever live in a loop, a safe life that's also boring and lacks growth. You can't expect change if you don't embrace stepping outside of what's familiar. I want you to think about one thing. What would happen if you stopped, looked at what's holding you back, and began facing it? You may fear failure, you may worry about the unknown, but I assure you that the only thing stopping you from moving forward is hesitation and those invisible fears you haven't confronted. Sometimes Change doesn't need to be huge steps immediately. It can be small decisions, small actions, but they carry meaning, helping you break free from the old cycle you've been living in. Change starts when you dare to face yourself, recognize your weaknesses, and find ways to improve them. You can start by changing a small habit in your daily life. Maybe you're used to working at a specific time, but try changing your work hours, or try a new way of doing things. Perhaps you always meet the same familiar people, but try connecting with new individuals, those who can bring you new perspectives and new opportunities. Only when you dare to change the small things can you change your entire life. Remember, change doesn't come from doing easy things, but from doing hard things and stepping outside your comfort zone. When you begin to face the things holding you back, you'll realize that you're much stronger than you thought. Don't let fear, laziness, or procrastination stop you from moving forward. Remember, the first step in change is daring to look at what's holding you back and deciding not to let it control you anymore. So, are you ready to stop and identify what's holding you back? Are you ready to change, or will you continue to let those reasons pull you back? Start today with small and powerful changes. Real change begins with you. In life, we often hear the advice, follow your passion. This saying seems to bring a powerful source of motivation. But do we truly understand its meaning? Is passion everything, and does chasing passion lead us to a fulfilled and successful life? The truth is, passion may not be what you need to seek. What you truly need to pursue is utility, the ability to create value for yourself and others. When you chase passion without considering its usefulness, you may fall into the trap of disappointment. Passion can change over time. It can disappear when you face the real challenges of life. Surely you've had hobbies and dreams that no longer appeal to you after a while. Passion is just a flame. It can burn brightly, but also extinguish quickly. But utility, the dedication to a higher goal, is always the factor that keeps you persistent on your long journey. When you pursue utility, you not only focus on what you like, but also think about the value you can create for society, for the community, or for those around you. You don't need to love everything you do, but if your work can make a positive change and help others, you will find true meaning in it. That's the key to maintaining long-term motivation, because when you sense the value of your work, you'll never feel tired or bored. Passion can mislead you when facing difficulties, but utility is what helps you overcome challenges. When you focus on creating value, you aren't deceived by difficult moments. You'll realize that success doesn't come from doing what you love, but from doing things that bring real change, even if sometimes you're not excited about it. When you create value, you'll see that life isn't just about short-term joys, but also about a clear purpose, a reason to keep striving every day. A clear example of utility over passion is entrepreneurs. Successful business people don't just do what they're passionate about. They focus on solving problems for society and creating value for their customers. Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, didn't just follow his passion for technology or space exploration. He saw a huge issue the world was facing, reliance on fossil fuels and climate change, and found a way to address it by developing electric vehicles and renewable energy technology. The utility of these innovations has helped Musk build successful companies and change the automotive and space industries. Passion can easily lead you down paths without preparation or realistic research. It can make you blind, lost, and quick to give up when things get difficult. But utility keeps you focused on long-term goals, helping you overcome obstacles without feeling hindered. Because when you realize the usefulness of what you do, you'll never get tired. You'll always find a reason to continue, no matter how many failures or difficulties you face. Focusing on utility also helps you maintain patience and perseverance. When you pursue utility, you understand that success takes time. Patience is key to overcoming tough times in your journey. You'll learn to assess your efforts not just through immediate success, but by how much value you've brought to the community or society. Instead of worrying about whether you're doing what you love, you'll begin to find satisfaction in the contributions you make to this world. The most important thing in life is not blindly chasing passion, but finding a way to use your talents and abilities to create real value. The greatest successes aren't the result of fleeting passion, but of dedication, of relentless effort to do something useful for the community. You don't have to love everything you do, but if you always remember that your work is creating value for others, you will find meaning in what you do. So don't just chase passion, chase utility, because that's the key to creating lasting value, helping you persevere through challenges, and finding long-term success. When you create value for others, you create value for yourself. Start looking at life not just through what you love, but through what you can contribute to this world. Your life won't change if you continue doing what you've always done, thinking what you've always thought, and living by the same habits you've maintained over the years. Habits can provide a sense of safety and stability, but sometimes those very habits are what hold you back from growth and progress. You might feel like you're living an ordinary life without anything remarkable, but if you don't change those ineffective habits, you will never be able to rise above. This doesn't mean that bad habits must be completely eliminated, but you need to recognize that if you want to change your life, you must change yourself, change how you live, and change how you think. You've probably heard the saying, if you do something continuously for 21 days, it becomes a habit. This may be true, but the issue isn't just about having a habit. The problem lies in the quality of the habits you maintain. Good habits will lead you to success, while bad habits will keep you stagnant or even set you back. Have you ever asked yourself, am I living in a cycle of old habits, or am I truly moving toward positive change in my life? When you continue repeating the same actions every day without setting clear goals, your life will start to feel boring, demotivated, and stagnant. You may wake up each morning with a familiar routine, going to work, working, eating, resting, and then continuing the same cycle day after day. These are habits you've built, but do they bring you closer to your goals? Or are you simply living a quiet life without any breakthroughs? Life changes not by maintaining old habits, but by daring to do things differently, to try new things, and to break the limits you've set for yourself. Sometimes, change doesn't come from big decisions, but from small adjustments in your daily life. A small change in habit can create big shifts in your life. Just change one small thing every day, and you'll see your life gradually become richer and more interesting. Successful people know that change starts with changing habits. You can't change your life if you keep living like yesterday. If you always do what you've done, you will always get the same results. To get different results, you must act differently. This different action starts with changing habits. You've probably heard about the habits of successful people. They wake up early, they plan their day, they read books, and they never stop learning. These habits are not random, they're key factors that help them make a difference and achieve success. The challenge is having the courage to step out of your comfort zone and try something different. When you change your habits, you will face discomfort, unfamiliarity, and sometimes even failure. But these challenges will help you grow and become stronger. You won't know what you're capable of until you try, and every time you try, you'll get closer to your goal. Don't fear failure, because failure is the greatest teacher that helps you learn and do better next time. You might think, I'm too used to my habits. Changing now seems too hard. But the reality is, change is the only thing that never changes. Life is always changing, and if you don't change with it, you'll be left behind. Don't wait for someday. Don't wait until you have enough time, enough conditions, or enough strength to change. Start now, change one habit, try something new, and you will see the difference in your life. Don't let old habits hold you back. Don't let comfort and safety prevent your growth. Change your habits, and you'll change your life. Only when you change can you achieve different results, the achievements you never imagined. Life doesn't change because of habits, but it will change when you have the courage to change your habits. Start today, and you'll notice how your life will change in ways you never expected. Your life is fine, right? You have a stable job, a loving family, close friends, and a life with no major storms. So what more can you do? Many of us feel comfortable in a safe zone where everything seems easy and there aren't too many challenges. But have you ever asked yourself if this comfort is actually stealing the greatest opportunities in your life? Comfort can be the worst enemy of growth. We tend to seek safety in life because it's where we feel unthreatened. But you may not realize that this very comfort is slowing you down, preventing you from rising up and missing out on opportunities that could change your life. Important decisions, big steps, happen when you dare to step out of your comfort zone, when you no longer get caught up in the comfortable routines that life has provided. Only when you face discomfort can you truly change your life. Don't let comfort make you forget that success never comes from easy things. Success is the result of tough decisions, bold moves, and the challenges you face to reach your goals. The most successful people in history are those who gave up comfort to conquer the impossible. Elon Musk didn't start with a ready-made company with everything prepared. He took a risk with SpaceX, knowing that success wouldn't be easy and it was uncertain, but because he didn't choose safety, he changed the space industry and made history. If he only sought comfort, he would never have achieved such greatness. Comfort prevents us from trying new things. It makes us settle for the present without thinking about improving or changing. You might have a stable job and a steady income, but will you feel satisfied living this life forever? Have you ever asked yourself if you could do more, if you could live a more meaningful life? Comfort can make you lose your hunger, passion for seeking new opportunities, and breakthroughs in the fields you truly love. In fact, many people don't realize they're living too safely until they look back and realize how many valuable opportunities they've missed. If you continue living in comfort, you'll never know your true potential. You won't know what you're capable of, and you won't understand the value of the opportunities life offers. The challenge is that you must dare to step out of the shadow of comfort, face your fears, and take on challenges. It's those moments of discomfort that help you grow the most, because they are the times you must truly fight, learn, and change. Think about the things you've missed simply because of comfort. Maybe you didn't want to change jobs because you feared starting over, or you didn't want to learn a new skill because you thought you wouldn't be good enough. But do you know that comfort only slows you down, while growth comes when you push through those uncomfortable feelings? You can't just sit in the safety zone and hope that life will change. You must take action, take risks, and face challenges head on. Perhaps you're thinking, but I have enough already, I don't need to do anything more. But if you've achieved what you've wanted, why not try to achieve more? Why not try to do something that could change your life, something you never dared to think of? If you don't continue moving forward, you'll be left behind. Comfort, satisfaction with the present, are traps that prevent you from seeing the opportunities waiting ahead. Don't let comfort steal your remaining opportunities. Seek challenges, seek opportunities to grow. Don't get stuck in easy habits, in old relationships, or in work with no breakthroughs. Only when you dare to step out of your comfort zone will you realize what you can achieve. You won't know your limits until you challenge yourself, until you take risks and dare to change. So, don't let comfort deceive you. Remember that life isn't about living in safety. It's about daring to face new opportunities, bigger challenges, and bolder steps. Embrace discomfort because it's what will lead you to the greatest things in life. We all know that life never stands still. Every day brings new opportunities, new challenges, and new lessons. But there's one thing that very few people realize. When you stop believing in growth, when you believe you can't move forward anymore, that's when you start dying in your own life. This death is not physical death, but the death of your spirit. When you no longer have the desire to rise, no longer seek improvement, and no longer have the motivation to keep developing. Ask yourself one question: do you still believe you can grow? If the answer is no, then your life will lose its meaning. You'll continue living day by day without a clear goal, without belief in your own abilities. You'll have no motivation to try because you believe you've reached your limit. But the truth is, you've never reached the end of the road, and you never will if you don't believe you can improve every day. What many people don't realize is that growth is not an automatic result, but a continuous process. It's not a destination, but a journey, where every day brings an opportunity to become better. You can't stand still and expect everything to change. You have to proactively change yourself. Change how you think, work, and face challenges. Only when you accept that you can always grow can you move forward. Growth is not easy. It requires you to face fear, push beyond your limits, and keep learning. You may feel exhausted, you may fail, but the important thing is you never stop believing in your ability to improve. Once you stop believing in growth, you'll be stuck in comfort, in old habits, and you'll never move forward. Never let comfort make you lose your chance to grow. A lifetime is not meant to be lived mechanically. It's meant to be lived rising up, exploring possibilities you haven't known. In fact, continuous learning, constant change, and the relentless effort to become better are the key factors that help you overcome challenges and build a valuable life. If you believe you can't change, if you think you can't grow any further, you'll always be limited by those negative thoughts. Growth begins by changing the way you think, by realizing that you can do things you've never done before. Well, the most successful people are those who never stop believing in their ability to grow. They know that every day is an opportunity to learn, improve, and achieve greater things. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, all of them share one thing. They never stop believing in growth and their ability to change their lives. It's this belief in growth that helped them overcome every difficulty, challenge, and keep striving to reach their goals. They understand that if you don't grow, you stop and everything becomes worse. Never let failure or difficulties make you doubt your abilities. Every failure is a lesson, every challenge is an opportunity for you to learn and grow stronger. When you stop and believe that you can't grow, that's when you begin to die in your soul. If you can't learn from failure, you'll never progress. If you can't change the way you see the world and yourself, you'll always be stuck in your own limits. Remember, growth is not something distant, but a process you can start today. Don't let negative thoughts or the limits in your mind stop you from moving forward. Believe that you can do it. Believe that you can change and improve every day. When you start believing in growth, you'll see your life change in ways you can't even imagine. New opportunities will arise, challenges will become easier, and you'll feel more confident than ever in your ability. Growth is not something that happens by chance, but the result of constant effort. Remember, when you stop believing in growth, you stop all possibilities for your development. Keep moving forward, learn from every experience, and never stop believing in your abilities. When you do, you'll realize that you can achieve great things you never thought possible. Throughout our lives, we seek acceptance from others, family, friends, colleagues, even society. From a young age, we are taught that pleasing others brings recognition and success. But as we grow older, we gradually realize that seeking acceptance not only doesn't help you grow, but it can also lead you astray. You can spend your entire life chasing approval from others, but will that truly lead you to sustainable success and happiness? We often worry about how others perceive us, about whether we're good enough, skilled enough, or worthy of recognition. As a result, we start to build our lives around the expectations of others, rather than living according to what we truly want. This may bring temporary comfort and safety, but it also prevents you from achieving the things you truly desire. When you live to please others, you lose yourself. You no longer control your life. You are living according to the standards and biases of others. Imagine spending your life seeking acceptance from those around you. You might work hard to prove yourself, to earn praise from your boss, or do things you don't really want to do just to maintain relationships. But in the end, you'll realize that this acceptance doesn't bring real satisfaction. It's only a temporary solution, not a substitute for self-satisfaction and belief in your own abilities. External acceptance may make you feel loved and recognized, but it cannot help you truly grow. Growth begins from within, from facing yourself, recognizing your true value, and living authentically. This can be difficult, as society and those around you often criticize and judge you based on the standards they set. But if you always seek their approval, you'll never dare to take risks or challenge yourself to reach new things. In fact, the most successful people in history were those who didn't live to please others. They chose their own path, dared to pursue what others thought was crazy, and ultimately made a huge difference. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, all of them made bold moves that few could understand or support when they began. They didn't live according to society's expectations, but by their own vision. This is what helped them achieve great accomplishments. When you seek acceptance, you often have to face comparisons, criticism, and sometimes a lack of motivation. To grow, you must stop comparing yourself to others, stop seeking validation from the outside, and begin building confidence from within. You need to understand that your growth doesn't depend on what others think of you. It depends on whether you have the courage to live true to yourself, do what you believe is right, and persist in pursuing your goals despite the challenges. The important thing is that you must learn to accept yourself before expecting others to do so. Self-acceptance is the foundation for growth. You must recognize that you have value even without anyone's approval. You must believe that what you do, the efforts you put in, even if not immediately acknowledged, are meaningful and deserve respect. True growth begins when you stop depending on external approval. When you live for yourself, when you set goals based on what you truly want and are not influenced by external biases, you will realize that freedom and joy in life are limitless. You'll feel relieved not to have to bend over backward to please others, not to try to be someone you're not. So don't let the pursuit of others' acceptance prevent you from moving forward. Seek acceptance from yourself, and when you do, the world around you will start seeing you differently. You don't need to please everyone. What matters is that you are satisfied with yourself, with what you're doing, and with the path you've chosen. When you truly accept and love yourself, you'll find that everything in life becomes much easier and more natural. Growth doesn't come from the acceptance of others, but from daring to live true to who you really are. Don't let the search for acceptance stop you from finding yourself, and never lose yourself just to be liked by others. When you find self-acceptance, you will find true growth. Life is a series of decisions. Every day you make hundreds, even thousands of decisions, from the small ones like what to eat or what to wear, to larger choices like your career, life goals, or relationships. But there's a simple truth many people still don't realize. In the end, you are the one who decides your path. You can blame your circumstances, others, or the difficulties in life, but the most important thing you need to understand is that you have the power to control your own future. We often convince ourselves that our lives are controlled by external factors, that the conditions around us are the reasons we can't achieve our goals. But the truth is, life does not decide who you are or where you're going. You, through the decisions you make every day, determine the path you take, what you achieve, and what you miss out on. This doesn't mean everything will be easy, but once you understand that you are the one creating change, you will find an immense power within yourself. Choices aren't just about big decisions. They're also about the small choices you make each day. A small decision every day can change the entire direction of your life. How you start your day, how you face challenges, how you interact with others. These are all choices. These decisions don't just form habits, they have a huge impact on the results of your life. Every small action, every decision you make today can lead you to a different future. You've probably heard the saying, you are the product of the decisions you've made. This couldn't be more true. It's your choices that have made you who you are today, and they will also shape the person you will become. If you want a different life, you need to start with different decisions. Don't let comfort or old habits delay those important choices. Every day is an opportunity to change your path, and those choices will decide who you become in the future. However, realizing that you have the power to decide also means facing responsibility. When you realize you're the one deciding your life, you can no longer blame anyone else. You can't keep complaining about your circumstances or about the imperfections around you. You are the one responsible for what you do and what you don't do. Change begins when you accept that you have the power to decide everything in your life. This also means you must face uncertainty. Big decisions are never easy, and they always come with fear and doubt. But it's those uncertain moments that are opportunities to challenge yourself, to step outside your comfort zone. If you don't dare to decide, you'll never know what you're capable of. Sometimes, accepting uncertainty and daring to walk a path that isn't clear is how you grow and achieve greatness. I want you to think about this. Are you choosing to live the life you truly want, or are you living to please others, to meet the expectations of society, family, or friends? If you don't have the freedom to make decisions for your own life, you'll never achieve true satisfaction. Your decisions should come from you, from your values and dreams, not from what others think of you. Freedom in choice is a powerful force. When you truly believe that you're the one deciding, you won't let external factors influence your life too much. You won't fear change, you won't fear failure, and most importantly, you won't fear disappointment when things don't go as planned. Accepting that you have the right to decide is a crucial step toward becoming the master of your own life. So start today, from the smallest decisions. Don't let anyone or anything decide for you. You may not be able to control everything in life, but you can absolutely control how you react and the choices you make. That's how you build your life, and that's how you move towards success. Finally, remember that you are the only one who can decide your path. Every choice you make will shape the life you'll have in the future. You have the right to choose, the right to change, and the right to create the life you dream of. So, how will you choose to live?